Hello everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Get Crafty with Sally. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Today I am going to be making this card. It's from the Cheerful Daisies bundle. And if you watched my previous video, you'll remember that I made some homemade designer series paper, and this is the one that I actually did on the video, and I wasn't really happy with the full strength moody mauve little floral clusters that I put on there. So I did redo another sheet of it and stamped the moody mauve off once for all those little clusters, and I am a lot more happy with this version. So that's what I've used on this card, and that's what we'll be using today. I will use the other sheet for some other project. This bundle is from the annual catalog that starts in May, and you'll be able to order products from this catalog on May 2nd, which is Tuesday. So I'm sure everybody's really excited about that. So let me show you what you're going to need to make this card. I have used a piece of basic white cardstock, 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, scored at 4.25 inches. A piece of bubble bath, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Another piece of basic white, 4 by 5 1/4, and that one I have embossed with the 3D fern embossing folder. It's a gorgeous folder. You'll also need a 2-inch by 5 1/4 inch piece of DSP, homemade or not. And the only reason, if you didn't watch the last video, the only reason that I made this is because I actually thought that I ordered the designer series paper that went with that bundle, but evidently I did not. So you'll also need a scrap of basic white to stamp the 3 daisies and the little leaves. A scrap of bubble bath for the little, there's a little floral spray under here. I don't know if you can see that or not. A scrap of basic white for the sentiment, and a scrap of bubble bath for, there's a frame that goes around this sentiment. I don't know if you can see it on this one very well. This one I did it in basic white. The one that we're making today, I'm going to try it in bubble bath and see what it looks like. So let's stamp our daisies first. Hopefully you got a screenshot of that. If not, I do have a PDF with all of the measurements on my website at Get Crafty with Sally. There's a link to it down in the description below this video. So I'm going to be stamping these daisies in Moody Mauve, which is one of my favorite new colors. Maybe because I am moody. The stamps in this set are, or the flower sets, are 2-step stamps. So each of these flowers has a detailed image and a solid image. So you'll stamp each one separately to get the beautiful flowers that you'll see here. So I'm going to take first my detailed stamp. I think it's easier to do the detailed one first and then the solid one. And if you'll notice, I have placed a little dot of Sharpie pen at the top on the back, what I'm calling the top. And I'm calling it the top because that's the way that it's positioned on the stamp case from Stampin' Up. So I'm assuming that is up since that's where they put that. So I'm going to stamp this in full strength, Moody Mauve. And I'll also do this other little, I call it the Droopy Daisy. We'll do that one while we're at it. So give that a good press. And then, I guess I should have brought my Stampin' Scrub over here. Let me walk over and clean this stamp off. Only because I have to grab it with my fingers. So I've also, on the solid stamp, you can see, here's the detailed stamp, here's the solid stamp. I've also matched up the same petal and put another little mark with my Sharpie pen. So to do that, you would find the one that you had it on the detailed stamp, line it up on here, and then put your mark on there. So we'll pick that up. And most of the time when you use photopolymer stamps, you do want to have a piece of foam or some kind of a little bit of padding underneath there, because they do not have the foam on the back of them. I don't do that very often, and they seem to come out okay. So that's definitely your choice. So I've inked that one up. I am going to stamp it off because we don't want to use the exact same color. Otherwise, we're not going to see this detail. And I'm probably going to have to stick my head in the camera to line this up. Pardon me if I do. So you just line those up, give that a good press, and you really do get a beautiful image. There are some little spots on the stamp that are left blank, and that is on purpose. It's not that the stamp didn't pick up the ink. That's the way it's supposed to be. So let me do the little Droopy Daisy as well. And it's best when you're stamping with photopolymer to lay it down and let it take whatever shape it's wanting to take. I'll wipe this ink off my block and then pick it up with your block. Don't stick the stamp on your block with your hand. Okay, so again, we'll pick up our ink on our stamp, stamp it off, and you can look at my big head in the camera probably. Okay, so there's that one. And then there are a couple of the little centers for these flowers. There's one for the big one, larger one for this largest daisy, and then the small one goes on this middle daisy and then the Droopy Daisy. So for those, I'm going to use wild wheat. So I'm going to lay my little stamp down. Not that this one's going to lose its shape. Pick it up with my block. And you can try your ink and see if you like it better with the, remember this is my scratch paper, full strength, or if you like it better, stamped off. So that's pretty light stamped off for this. So I'm going to use full strength. So that's what that looks like. Then I'll peel that one off. Hopefully I don't get ink all over my fingers. Pick up the smaller one. And we'll stamp it on this little daisy. And I think this little daisy is the favorite one in my set. It's just super cute. So let me also show you, I originally stamped the leaves in green. I think I used Old Olive, and I just didn't, I mean, it's okay with this card, but it's not quite the look that I was going for. So I decided to use the wild wheat. And I should have brought my Stampin' scrub over here. I apologize. I keep getting up and grabbing a towel. Let me show you a fun way to get different looks from your leaves or any other little stamps. You can stamp this full strength. And this color actually, to me, does have a little tinge of green in it, greeny, goldy, mustardy yellow. It looks greener right now because it's really wet. So that's full strength. You can also stamp it off if you want a light leaf. And then another thing that I like to do is ink up your stamp and then just kind of roll the edge a little bit and take part of the ink off and then stamp it. So that kind of gives a cool look, a little variation, and all of your leaves don't look the same. So you might try that and see what you think of it. So I already have pieces stamped and cut out, so you don't have to wait and watch me do all of that. So let's put our, I've got blocks with ink all over them, so I'm trying to get them out of the way. Let's take our little piece of DSP and we'll attach it to the piece of basic white that has been embossed with the fern folder. So for that, I'm going to take some of the Tombow green glue. You could also use a tape runner, but I'm probably going to want to move this around a little bit to get it where I want it. So I'm going to try to, I guess I should get it where there's lines, line this up on my grid paper so I can get it somewhat straight. And I did not mark it with a pen this time, but we'll see how close we can get it. So I've gone a little bit above this bottom line and this bottom line. And that looks pretty good. And you want to watch if you're using a background stamp like I did on this paper that has font on it, that you make sure that you attach this piece right side up when you put it on your card. Probably most people aren't going to notice if you don't put it on right side up, but you will know. So the next thing we're going to do is attach this to our 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 piece of bubble bath cardstock. So let's put a little bit of adhesive on it. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. And I do see a little bit of the designer series paper sticking over the edge of this, so I'm going to try to trim it off. Just a little tiny bit. You probably wouldn't even notice it. Okay. So here's our piece of bubble bath. And we'll center this. Try to center it. I didn't get it very straight. Okay, and now for the bubble bath piece, I'm going to attach it to the card base with my tape runner. And I got a dog hair in there. Most people get cards from me with dog hair on the back and they don't even know it, which is a good thing that they don't know it. Well, now they do. Okay, so there's our card base. Checking to see if my font's upside down, and it looks okay. So we'll attach that. So this next thing I'm going to do is attach this sentiment and frame, and it's popped up on dimensionals. The sentiment is from the Cheerful Daisies set. It says, "Wishing you the brightest birthday." And there is a, I don't know if I have the dies here. There is a die in the set that cuts out these sentiments, which is wonderful. But I chose to use the Countryside Corners set. I don't know if you've noticed this in the catalog or not. I wasn't really thrilled about it, but it was one of the few things that demonstrators could pre-order, so I did get it because I liked the dies. Now that I have used this stamp, I'm loving it. So let me show you. This one I stamped on the bubble bath in full strength Moody Mauve. I'm not using this, but how great is this? You can use this whole thing. You can cut whatever pieces you want in layers. Look at all these. There's a little strip for a sentiment. I think it fits right in the middle of there. So what I did was I used the 2 smallest dies from this set, and I lined them up on the piece that I wanted to use, taped them down, and cut my die out. So it's really easy to do. Honestly, I think if you get that, you're going to love it. So let's put a little bit of Tombow glue on the back of our bubble bath. And I'm not sure what this is going to look like on the card. I may not like like it at all, or I may love it. Okay, and I did stamp the sentiment in Moody Mauve, full strength. You could also stamp it in the Wild Wheat. That might look really good too. So that's going to be the difference between the first card and the one that we're making now. So I'm going to get a couple dimensionals and put them on the back. And you want to kind of put them in the center because we are putting things underneath this panel. So we'll pull the backs off. Place our sentiment where we want it. See if it's sort of straight. Okay, so now let's get our pieces that we've cut out, our daisy pieces. And I'm going to position them on here till I find kind of where I want them to go. I do know that I want to put this right here under this corner. So I can get some glue on the back of it, and I'm actually going to use my, I hope I'm not getting everything out of the camera. I'm going to use my little fine tip glue bottle. Just get a little bit of glue going on here. Don't need a lot, just a few little dots here and there. And then we'll slide this under here. Give it a little press. And then we can continue on with our daisies. So back to the Tombow glue. And I'm just going to put some in the center of the large daisy and adhere it down. And then we'll do the medium daisy. Give it a little press. And then the little droopy daisy, I'm just actually going to put a little bit of glue on the center of the daisy. And I'm not even going to put any dimensionals underneath it. You could, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. So let's give that a second to adhere. And then I'm also going to take one of my little leaves and I'll put a little bit of glue on the end of it. And I'm going to see if I can slide it up under here and give it a press and attach it there. Perfect. All right, so let's add a few more leaves to our project. I'm going to put one over here, and then another one kind of in that same area, but I am going to maybe overlap it just a little bit. And then the last one, we will put underneath this daisy down here. Hopefully I didn't get too much glue on it. So you could put more leaves around here if you wanted, or more of this, I don't even remember what I called this spriggly spray thing on here. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do is add some of our gems, if I can get a hold of them. Let me grab my take your pick tool, and I'll get the pokey end. And I'm going to put a medium size one right here, and a small one right up here, and then another small one right down here. Okay, so that's it for this card. What do you think of it? Do you like the one better with the basic white frame or the one with the bubble bath? I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look at them both for a while. Let me know what you think. When this set, I first saw it in the catalog, the stamp set, I just was not even thrilled with it. But the more I see it, the more I like it. And now that I have played with it, I absolutely love it. I'm so glad that I ordered it. So hopefully this is one that you will pick up on Tuesday. Let me know what you think of this card. I would appreciate it if you hit the like button, share my video with your friends, and it would be oh so awesome if you would subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you will be alerted when I post new videos. I hope you like this. I appreciate your time, and thank you for stopping by, and have a great day. Thanks so much.